Imagine a loom, ancient and infinite, hidden in the architecture of the cosmos. Two threads, spun from the exact same star stuff, are woven together so tightly they appear as a single cord. They move through lifetimes. They survive the collapse of empires. They find each other in the dark. Then, the weaver takes a blade. The threads are severed. The physical body registers this not as a separation, but as an amputation. The air leaves the room. Gravity suddenly feels twice as heavy, pulling at the marrow of your bones. A phantom limb aches where another soul used to reside. The mind fractures, trying to solve an equation that has suddenly lost its primary variable. We call this the breaking of a soul contract. But what if the blade was not wielded by blind fate? What if it was not an act of malice from a universe indifferent to human suffering? What if the hand holding the blade was yours? Before the first breath of this lifetime, a decision was made. A blueprint was drafted. You are watching this now because the architecture of your reality has collapsed, leaving you standing in the ruins of a connection that defied all earthly logic. The rupture feels like a punishment. It feels like a cosmic error. It is neither. It is an initiation. Today, we are going to dismantle the illusion of this separation. We are going beyond the surface level grief, stepping into the quantum mechanics of the soul to understand the exact spiritual purpose behind this devastation. When the connection severs, with the unawakened counterpart, the devastation is not merely emotional. It is profoundly biological. It is cellular. To understand the intense gravity of this disconnect, we must look at the exact intersection of deep psychology and quantum entanglement. Physics dictates that two particles, once united, remain connected across space and time. Albert Einstein called this spooky action at a distance. When one particle spins, the other reacts instantly. This happens regardless of the physical distance between them. It defies the laws of classical mechanics. When the physical proximity of your relationship ends, the quantum mirroring continues unabated. Your nervous system was calibrated to their exact frequency. Over time, your vagus nerve, your amygdala, your very breath, sync to the rhythm of their presence. You learned the micro expressions of their face. Your body learned to regulate its own safety based entirely on their energetic proximity. When they pull away, your biology does not interpret this as a simple breakup. It interprets it as a literal threat to your survival. The holder of space goes into a state of severe hyperarousal. The mind frantically searches for logic in a realm that completely defies it. The cognitive dissonance is deafening. You are trying to apply earthly psychological rules to a quantum, spiritual event. Your cortisol levels spike. Your heart physically aches. This is not a metaphor or an exaggeration of a broken heart. It is a physiological withdrawal from a frequency that your cells had adopted as their own baseline. You are experiencing the phantom limb syndrome of the soul. The energetic tether remains intact, pulling at your center, even when the physical person is entirely absent. This constant pulling is what causes the profound exhaustion. You are burning immense amounts of energetic fuel just trying to exist in the empty space they left behind. We look at the unawakened counterpart. We look at the one who walked away. We look at the one who built walls of ice overnight. And we ask the void how they can possibly not feel this tearing. We wonder how they can sleep while our own nervous system is on fire. But they do feel it. They simply process the exact same quantum overload through suppression, while the anxious heart processes it through obsession. Both are trauma responses. Both are the human nervous system collapsing under the weight of an infinite mirror. The unawakened counterpart retreats because the reflection of their own dormant divinity is too blinding. When they look at you, they do not just see a loving partner. They see everything they have hidden from themselves. They see their unhealed wounds. They see their infinite potential. They see the exact ways they have settled for a life built on illusions and safety. That reflection demands a death of their ego that they are not yet prepared to endure. The voltage of the connection is simply too high for their current energetic capacity. The vessel cracks, so they choose the familiar comfort of sleep over the agonizing bright light of awakening. They run to the mundane. They run to lower vibrational distractions. They do this not because they do not care, but because the alternative is to let the fire of the connection burn their carefully constructed false identity to the ground. The human brain is wired for safety, predictability, and linear time. It is not wired to hold the infinite, terrifying expanse of a soul contract. When the soul recognizes its counterpart, it tries to stuff that cosmic, boundless energy into the tiny, fragile box of a traditional human relationship. The box shatters. It has to shatter. The pain you feel is the sound of that shattering. You are left holding the pieces, wondering what went wrong. But nothing went wrong. The pain is born from the friction between your infinite soul and your finite human ego. The ego wants to possess. It wants to label. It wants to secure the counterpart and keep them close so the nervous system can finally rest. But the quantum field does not care about human comfort. It cares about expansion. The intense grief is the shedding of an old skin. It is the necessary biological and energetic clearing of everything you were before you met them. You are being forced to process not just the loss of a person, but the massive loss of the identity you attach to them. This is why the pain feels ancient. It is ancient. You are clearing lifetimes of attachment trauma through your physical body in real time. The pain is not the enemy. The pain is the immense, unavoidable pressure required to force a diamond out of the dark. It is the heavy machinery of your own evolution, tearing down the outdated structures of your psyche so that something entirely new can be built in its place. To shift our perspective from profound grief to profound empowerment, we must look through the lens of quantum healing. We must examine the pioneering hypnotherapy work of Dolores Cannon. Through thousands of deep regression sessions, a profound truth emerges about the nature of our existence. Earth is a school. It is widely considered the most difficult school in the universe. We do not arrive here by accident. We do not stumble into these agonizing spiritual connections by mere chance. Long before the first breath of this lifetime, a blueprint was drafted. We sit in the vastness of the ether. We sit in the planning rooms of the soul. We meticulously write the contracts for our upcoming incarnation. We choose the players. We script the betrayals. We orchestrate the unifications. We plan the exact moments of departure. But within the most advanced soul contracts, there is a hidden addendum. These are the contracts designed for rapid and brutal ascension. Let us call this hidden addendum the Evolutionary Clause. The Evolutionary Clause is a pre-birth agreement drawn up by your own higher self. It is a fail-safe mechanism built into the architecture of your awakening. The clause states a very specific set of conditions. It says that you and your counterpart will meet. You will recognize each other instantly through the heavy veil of earthly amnesia. You will awaken the dormant codes within each other's spiritual DNA. You will experience a love that defies all human logic. Then, the clause dictates a necessary tragedy. It states that when the comfort of your union threatens to halt your individual evolution, the contract must break. The physical connection must be severed. Why would your higher self author such unimaginable agony Why would infinite wisdom design a love so profound, only to tear it away from your grasp? It does this because a seed cannot remain in the safety of its shell if it is ever to become a forest. The breaking of the contract is not a failure of the relationship. It is not a mistake made by the universe. It is the successful, flawless completion of its primary mission. The unawakened counterpart was never meant to be your final destination. They were the catalyst. They were the lightning strike designed to burn down the deadwood of your past. They illuminated your hidden codependency. They brought your unhealed childhood wounds to the surface. They destroyed your fragile illusions of earthly safety. They were sent to force you to rebuild your entire life. This time, you must rebuild it on a foundation of absolute, sovereign truth. You could not do this while you were comfortable. Human beings rarely evolve in a state of deep comfort. We evolve when the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of changing. In Dolores Cannon's regressions, subjects repeatedly access the subconscious. This is the all-knowing, infinite part of the soul. When the subconscious is asked why a soul must experience such devastating separation from a counterpart, the answer is remarkably consistent. The answer is always that the soul needed to remember who it is without the other. The pain of this disconnect is simply the biological and energetic friction of your own expansion. You are outgrowing the psychological container you were born into. The intense growth triggered by this sudden separation is the actualization of your true pre-birth mission. You did not come to this planet merely to experience a romantic union. That is a human limitation placed upon a massive cosmic event. You came here to anchor an immense frequency of light onto the planet. You came to break generational curses. You came to shift the consciousness of the collective. You could not possibly do that while you were entirely consumed by the gravity of another human being. Your orbit was trapped around their sun. Your energy was entirely focused on maintaining a connection that was meant to be temporary. The universe had to intervene. Your higher self had to activate the evolutionary clause. The contract had to break so that you could be thrown back into the center of your own universe. You are being asked to stand completely alone in your own energetic signature. You are being asked to source your divine love from within, rather than extracting it from a counterpart. The shattering of this connection is the ultimate graduation. It is the universe trusting you enough to remove the training wheels of human attachment. You are stepping into the reality of your own infinite nature. You are no longer just a part of the universe experiencing a connection. You are becoming the universe itself. Knowing this profound truth intellectually is merely the first step. Embodying it in the physical form is an entirely different challenge. Your mind may fully grasp the evolutionary clause. Your nervous system, however, is still living in the acute trauma of the severed tie. The body keeps the score of this separation. To shift from the paralysis of grief to the immense power of your true mission, deliberate action is required. We must make 3 specific internal moves. We must rewire the architecture of the psyche. We must bridge the vast gap between quantum theory and daily human existence. Intellectual understanding without physical integration is just philosophy. We need alchemy. The first internal shift is the complete reclamation of the projection. Right now, your mind is playing a cruel and convincing trick on you. It is projecting all the magic onto them. It projects all the depth, all the divine love, and all the spiritual significance onto the unawakened counterpart. You look at the empty chair in your life. You genuinely believe the magic has left the room. You must stop this illusion immediately. The magic was always yours. They merely acted as a flawless, highly polished mirror. They reflected your own immense depth back to your conscious mind. Carl Jung taught us that we project our unintegrated gold onto others. We outsource our own divinity because we are afraid to hold its immense weight. We make the other person the keeper of our salvation. When you miss them desperately, you are actually mourning the unintegrated parts of your own divine nature. You are craving your own soul. You must take this energy back. You must consciously reclaim the gold you placed in their shadow. You must say to yourself that the depth you loved in them is the exact depth that exists within you. You are the absolute source of the profound love you felt. The second internal shift requires recalibrating the nervous system. We must move from a state of frantic pursuit to a state of absolute presence. The anxious heart operates under a false biological premise. It believes that movement equals resolution. It believes that if it just finds the right words, the pain will stop. It thinks sending the right message will fix the quantum tear. It believes that holding the energetic cord tight enough will force a reunion. To the anxious heart, stillness feels like a literal death. It feels like giving up. But the quantum field does not respond to human force. It responds exclusively to frequency. You must drop the anchor. You must signal to your exhausted biology that the war is over. Place your hand on your physical chest. Tell your nervous system that you are safe in your own solitary orbit. You must deliberately release the energetic grip on their soul. Give them the dignity of their own path. Paradoxically, it is only when you completely let go of the pursuit that the quantum field can reorganize itself. As long as you are energetically chasing them, you are broadcasting a frequency of profound lack. You are telling the universe that you are incomplete without them. Rest in your own center. Allow your vagus nerve to finally reset. Claim your energetic sovereignty. The third and most crucial shift is honoring the void. When a soul contract of this immense magnitude breaks, it leaves behind a massive crater. An immense, terrifying empty space is left in your daily reality. The human ego's immediate response to this space is absolute panic. Nature abhors a vacuum, and the ego is utterly terrified of the dark. It wants to rush to fill the void immediately. It seeks out loud distractions. It engages in spiritual bypassing. It makes desperate attempts at manifestation. It tries to fill the space with another person, an obsession, or an addiction. You must resist this urge completely. Do not fill the space. Force yourself to sit in the dark room. The void is not actually empty. It is pregnant with your unwritten future. The void is the blank canvas of your pre-birth mission. It has finally been wiped clean of all earthly distractions and attachments. It is only in this exact, terrifying silence that your higher self can finally speak. It is here that it transmits the precise instructions for the next phase of your life. If you fill the space with noise, you will entirely miss the transmission. Honor the emptiness. Respect the profound silence of this transition. It is not a grave for your past. It is the womb of your entirely new reality. It is the exact space where your sovereign power is born. The breaking of the soul contract is the ultimate spiritual initiation. It is the universe trusting you enough to remove the training wheels of human attachment. You are not a victim of a cosmic joke. You are not broken, and you have not been abandoned. You are a master architect of your own awakening. You are a soul so ancient, so powerful, that you dared to write a script so challenging, only a titan could play the lead. Let the thread snap. Let the glass shatter. Let the illusion of who you thought you needed to be fall away into the ash, because what remains, when everything else is stripped away, is the only thing that was ever real. The indestructible, infinite core of your own sovereign soul. You are the ocean. They were simply a wave that crashed upon your shores to remind you of your own depth. Until next time, walk in your power, and embrace the silence.